We're back.
Welcome back. Friday.
Another beautiful week.
Absolutely. Been not so beautiful.
I'm excited.
Week, yeah, I'm excited too. We got a nice little slate built for you guys tonight.
It's beautiful because it's Friday.
Right.
Not beautiful weather.
Right. Which is usually the tail of the tape around here. But all right. I guess it's time to kick things off.
Our Indiana weather for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a fun place to be. We hope you guys are excited. We're pretty excited. Kick things off. We will start it with, per usual, our live build. And tonight we actually have a few different things planned. We have obviously a nice little 8-game NBA slate tonight. FanDuel offering a boost, as they tend to do on Friday nights. And big UFC event tomorrow that I'm excited about. Huge UFC event.
And of course, if any of our viewers know, Travis knows a thing or two about UFC and has a couple hits in his history.
Yeah. I got a little,
And then last week, we had one we made live that missed by one leg.
Yeah. Yeah, so 4 for 5 on the UFC one last week for fight night. Even called the main event upset. So put that out there. And the only leg that lost was the Umar Nurmagomedov leg. And it was because he didn't finish the fight, but he still won on the decision. So just a bad assumption there, unfortunately. But time to bounce back this week. Huge slate. And I got a couple bangers to give out tonight for the UFC. But before we get to UFC,
all about, baby.
We have a nice little 8-game NBA slate tonight. And FanDuel is offering a 3+ leg, same game parlay plus for tonight's games. Nice 25%er. So we'll probably do, we think probably 8, 9 legs. We'll have to do at least 9 because we'll have to double up on one game. So I'll give you guys that. And then I'll give you the 2 UFC ones that I like for tomorrow night. Absolutely. So first game of the night, Hornets and Wizards. And it's not a very fun game to kick things off with. This game is probably going to be very boring.
Yeah.
So trying to find
2 very subpar teams.
Yeah, very subpar. Brandon Miller's had, a few decent games here lately. He's always somebody to look out for them, especially with LaMelo just never playing basketball.
Exactly. Poor dude's so injury prone.
Yeah.
The whole family.
Brandon Miller for 2+3 is -340. That's a line I don't mind. Him for 15+ points is -600. 20+ points for Kuzma is -270, but he always terrifies me. I feel like he always sells.
Yeah, I don't hate Brandon Miller's 15. I was going to say Poole, but he's got to be on the no bet list if you're any kind of sports bettor.
Well, I do want to mention, I saw something earlier today about Jordan Poole. In his last 5 games, he's averaging like 26 points a game, I think, or something like that, like 7 assists since he's been coming off the bench. He's been low-key kind of nice. I know 15+ for him is -390. That's a line I don't hate, just because of the streak he's been on lately. You always have to be careful with his lines, though. 2+3s for Pools, even -490. That's not the worst.
It's not terrible at all.
Which one do you think's popping out to you here?
I like Brandon Miller's 15 so far. I know the odds aren't the greatest, but everybody on the Wizards scares me.
Yeah, the Wizards are pretty terrifying. One of the worst teams in basketball, if not the worst. Okay. Yeah, we can run. We'll run this game, Brandon Miller 15+, and we'll get out of this show of a game here. Now, Pelicans Sixers. There's a few different lines in this one that I've seen that I do kind of like. Zion Williamson, 4+ assists is a line that's hit in 10 straight games. He's at -410 for that. Brandon Ingram, 4+ assists, is also hit in the last 10 games, but he's -700. So a little worse than Zion. But right off rip, the Zion one is probably my favorite. Buddy Hield 2+3s in this one. I don't hate at minus 550. His hit in 10 straight games. So I like
Yeah, Zion
Zion and
4 rebounds isn't terrible either.
4 rebounds. Yeah,
Minus
I would
480.
almost trust the assist more than rebounds. So he down low just isn't what he should be. Let's just put it that way. So what you
And
think,
his
man?
assists.
4+ is hitting 10 straight games.
I like it. The Pelicans are good at moving the ball around because they got enough talent.
All right, let's run some Zion. Minus 410 for 4+ assists. I don't hate that. Timberwolves and Cavs. Now let's see here. Darius Garland, last 5 games, has hit 3+3s in the last 5 games straight. So that's all up there. Let's see what that line's at. Minus 210. Wow.
Timberwolves are coming off of a hot W against the Pacers, playing a back-to-back, though.
They are. They are. And Anthony Edwards, keep in mind, we haven't mentioned this yet, but Karl Anthony Towns is out indefinitely with a torn left meniscus. So no Cat, possibly the rest of the season for the T-Wolves.
Yeah, absolutely blows.
Ant's points are a little juiced tonight, but I mean, being without Matt, I mean, somebody's got to score.
Yeah, I don't hate Garland assists at all.
His what?
They even got his line sitting at 3.5 right now.
You said for what?
Garland's threes.
Oh, the 3+. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's what you want to run. We can run it. It's hitting 5 straight games.
My boy Dean Wade sitting at plus 230.
Hey, Dean Wade, though, had a big night the other night.
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade.
Look up D Wade Heat achievements and you tell me.
Probably a pretty safe bet, you know. Now, Magic Knicks. We take Garland on that game, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Right off rip. This is obviously a little bit riskier of a line, nothing crazy, but Gary Harris for over 1.5 threes is his actual line tonight, and that is currently hitting 7 straight games. Also, Gary Harris over 7.5 points, which is his line at plus 110, has hit in 6 straight games. I'm just gonna throw those out there.
Wow.
And the lines are pretty nice for both of those. But obviously, the Knicks are
I
always
like
a
the
team.
points.
You like over 7.5 points?
I see my boy getting out there getting gritty.
At plus 110? Is that what you want to run?
I don't hate that at all.
All right, let's juice it up a little bit. Gary Harris over 7.5 at plus 110 is hitting 6 straight games.
Don't be down, Gary.
Man. All right. Heat Thunder. Now, let's see here. Jalen Williams, 1+3, the line that we look at a lot, minus 650 has hitting 10 straight games, which is honestly might even be more than 10 now at this point. So I feel like it's been 10 straight games for a while for Jalen.
And about 2 weeks of 10+ games. So,
yeah. So obviously that's a nice line to always look at. Let's see anything else here that piques my interest. Obviously, Shea always putting up 30-point games for 25+ is minus 370. Anything else I like? Bam Adebayo, 8+ rebounds is minus 550.
It's not terrible at all.
Oh, also, I do want to mention 2 other lines. 1+3 for Jimmy Butler, currently at minus 260, has hit in 10 straight games. Also, Terry Rozier, 4+ assists, has hit in 10 straight, and that's at minus 600. Forgot about the Heat in this one. Now, keep in
I
mind,
like Jalen Williams or Jimmy Butler's 3.
what if
Doing
we did
3-ball tonight.
What if we did both? We do have to take 2
Dude,
from a single game, and both of them have
what
hit
if
it
we
in 10
did
straight games.
Jalen Williams and Jimmy Butler both hitting a 3 tonight?
Let's run it. I like it.
You know, would that be crazy?
I mean, it wouldn't be that crazy. I mean, they both have hit in 10 straight games, like I mentioned. So it's nothing
I
wild,
say we slap it.
All right, let's run it. I like it. That brings us to Hawks Grizzlies. This is a game I think the Hawks should almost dominate, if we're being honest. Hawks Grizzlies.
That's what we can say about a lot of the Grizzlies games, yet they've pulled out some magic here and there.
That is very true. I just don't know who to bet on in these games. I know Vince Williams.
DeJounte Murray, 20 points, is minus 230.
Oh, DeJounte? They're without Trey, it looks like.
Yes, he is out for, I think, hand surgery, I believe.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this. What am I talking about? I also like Vince Williams, 4+ assists at minus 650. Obviously, nothing crazy odds, but this is a parlay build. What do you like the most here?
Nothing else really sticking out crazy. I mean, it's another Wizards game.
Yeah. So you like DeJounte?
I don't hate the assists. 4+ assists, Vince Williams.
Okay.
Probably does this bit.
Yeah, let's run it. Throw it on him. Move us on. Bucks Lakers.
Moves us to Bucks and Lakers.
I do want to mention LeBron James is out tonight. Just throwing that out there real quick.
It's your team. Take lead.
I know. Let's see.
80 dropping 50.
Yeah, his 10+ rebounds is hitting 10 straight games, but the odds are horrendous on that. Sucks LeBron's out tonight. Let's see. I know we're talking Lakers here, but something that I caught my interest a little bit earlier that I do want to mention, Giannis, for over half a 3, so 1 made 3, has hit in 6 straight games, and his line's at half a 3 tonight. I just want to say that. He's hit a 3 in 6 straight games. That's all I'm saying. I know the Lake Show is my squad,
does he make it 7?
That's what I'm saying. I don't hate that. We could also go another 2-piece in this game if we're really feeling him. Hey, all I'm saying, I want to. For my own research here, I want to see how many he's attempted in these last few games. So, wow, he's sniping. He's 1 for 3 last week. Then he was 2 for 3. Then he was 2 for 2, and then 1 for 1, 1 for 2, 1 for 1. I mean, he's sniping. I mean, did he keep checking the night? Does he? I do. He did. I also seen a video on Instagram that before the Warriors game, I think it was maybe, he hit 8 straight threes in warmups. I know he's wide open and he's shooting them, but hey. I wouldn't even hate to do 2 lines from this game, if we're being honest. Just because that interests me so much. I think there's so much value in that.
15 from D'Angelo Russell is minus 650.
I like that, especially with Braun being out. I like that a lot. Let's see. What else do I like here? Dame for 3+ threes has hit in 5 straight games, and that's at minus 260. There's a lot.
Then we have Dame and Giannis for 4 threes.
What do you like the most? What are you thinking out of the ones I'm throwing out there? I like D'Lo for 15 if we want to run that too. I like that a lot.
About that, I like the D'Lo one. I mean, I feel like that's kind of safe with Bron being out, going up against Dame. He's going to have some of that Point to prove mentality.
Would you do? So do you want to just run D'Lo, or would you want to run one of the Bucks ones too, or just leave it at D'Lo?
I was saying we could do D'Lo and Giannis's 3 from earlier.
All right, let's run Giannis's 3 then. Let's get it.
I'll
Over
take
half
that.
of 3. Let's get it. All right, and then Rockets and Blazers to finish
This
it
is our
off.
final.
So let's see here. Jalen Green for 15 plus points has hit in 5 straight games, and that line is currently at minus 340. Let's see if there's anything else in here that I like. Let's see. Fred Van Vliet over 3.5 rebounds has hit in 4 straight games. And that's currently his line. So good odds. What would
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't do. Okay. Let's see. Fred Van Vliet over 2.5 threes, just hitting 3 games in a row. Nothing to go wild on, but just throwing that out there. I honestly don't hate the Jalen Green 15 plus points.
I don't hate Jalen Green's 15, but I've always had good timing.
What?
That's what I was saying. Is I like the Jalen Green 15 point.
Oh. Okay.
I've just always had a favoritism toward Jalen Green, though.
I mean, it's hitting 5 straight games.
Let's make it 6.
Let's get it. All right. So with that being said, that rounds us out at a 10-legger for tonight's slate of games. Comes out plus 1,830, but with a 25% boost on FanDuel tonight, brings it up to plus 2,289. So a nice little 10-leg banger for tonight's slate. We always want to promote responsible gambling, no matter what. Responsible gambling, always bet.
Absolutely.
All right, so I got mine placed down. I like the way it looks.
Got mine locked in.
Couple little nice heaters on here. All right, now time to have some fun. I got 2 UFC ones that I want to tell you guys about that I like a lot for tomorrow night. Now, the first one is going to be a 5-leg main card, just money line winners. Give you guys my prediction for the main card, and then the second one is going to be my 5 picks from the main card with about 3 or 4, one change on the main card for method wise, and then a few from the prelims that I like a lot. So let's get this started. So
Perfect.
the first matchup of the night, this will be my 5-leg main card. Petr Yan versus Song Yadong. Now, Petr Yan is obviously a dog in the bantamweight division. A guy that was champion, obviously had a rivalry with Sterling, had a rivalry with Sugar Sean. He's been around the block. He knows things. And I think Petr Yan's poised for another title push, honestly. I think he wants his rematch with Sugar. That fight had a lot of controversy on the judges' scorecards. I think Petr is going to wipe the floor with Song tonight or tomorrow night. I'm going Petr Yan on the money line. Next up. Now, this is where it gets fun. Gilbert Burns versus Jack Della Maddalena. JDM is a guy that's been on a hot streak lately. I think he's finished 5 or 6 of his last fights. But Gilbert Burns, man, is Gilbert Burns. And if you know anything about UFC,
Absolutely.
This man is a monster, bro. Has taken the best fighters in the world the distance and beaten some of them. Could have destroyed Bilal Muhammad before his shoulder injury in the first round, unfortunately. But I just want to mention, dude fought 5 rounds with one arm. I just want to say that. And held his own against who is considered to be the next opponent for Leon in the welterweight division. So I don't understand why Gilbert Burns is the underdog in this fight. I'm taking Gilbert all day long over JDM. I think it's just with the hype that he's had around his name right now. But
absolutely,
Burns is looking for a bounce back.
Recency bias.
Yeah, I'm going Gilbert all day. I think he knocks him out, for being honest, but I'm just taking money line. Next up, Kevin Holland and Michael Page. And outside of the Sugar Sean fight, this is the fight I'm most excited for. Michael Page is a monster, and Kevin Holland is an OG. We've seen Kevin Holland do crazy things in the UFC, and he's a guy that fights anybody, anytime, anywhere. He's a dog. But Michael Page, man, he almost killed a dude in the octagon. He shattered a dude's skull with a flying knee, dented his entire face in. He knocks out people every time he gets in the octagon. He's 21-2 outside of amateur fight or in professional fighting. This will be his UFC debut, but Michael Page at plus 108, man, I'm taking Michael Page all day long in this fight. I love Kevin Holland, but Michael Page he's gonna make a statement tomorrow night, man. He's on the main card in his UFC debut for a reason. Now, Dustin Poirier and Benoit Saint Denis. This is another fight I'm super excited about and has a lot of value. Dustin Poirier comes in as the underdog for the first time in like 5 years in a fight that he's been in.
Yeah.
Poirier, he's getting old. I will say that. He's like 35 years old now, but Dustin's a warrior, dude. And I think he wants to come back. He knows he doesn't have a lot of time left, but Dustin Poirier has beat the best guys in the world. I mean, he beat Connor. He's fought Gaethje multiple times. He's fought, everybody in his division. And I know Benoit's young. He's hungry, but Dustin's gonna come out and stop this man. I'm taking Dustin again, another underdog on this card, dude. I think this card is full of underdogs.
Absolutely.
I will never in my life bet against Dustin Poirier. I don't care who he's fighting against. And then the main event, man. Sugar Sean and Marlon Chito Vera rematch number 2. The only guy to ever technically on a UFC record stop Sean O'Malley. His only loss on his record, and it was due to an injury that Sean sustained in the first round that basically took him out of the fight. But before that, if anybody watched that fight knows Sean was destroying him, and that was young Sean, man. What he's turned into now is the face of the UFC and one of the best fighters in the entire world. I'm taking Sugar Sean all day long. I will never bet against this man.
Can never bet against Sugar.
No. I'm taking Sugar Sean over Marlon Chito Vera all day. Now, for the 5-piece main slate brings you out to plus 3,201. And that's why I'm so excited. This fight card has so much value in it. It's insane. It's going to be one of the best UFC events of the year. So, once again, Petr Yan, Gilbert Burns, Michael Page, Dustin Poirier, and Sugar Sean O'Malley is my 5 picks for the main card.
I'd love to see it.
Now, to have a little fun, I'm going to run it back. I'm going to take my same 5. I'm going to keep my 5 for the main card on this one. But I'm gonna razzle dazzle a little bit. So we're going. Actually, we'll start from the bottom here. So we're gonna kick off with some UFC prelims that I like, and I think there's some value in. I'm not gonna bet on all these. I think there's like 3 of these that I like that I want to put some money on. So maybe 4, but I'm gonna start it out with the first prelim. It's gonna be Michael Pereira versus Michael Ola. I can't say his last name. I know who he is. You just can't pronounce it. But Michael Pereira is a guy that is so flashy and always has crazy fun knockouts in the octagon. And he's sitting at minus 154 over this guy. I'm taking Michael Pereira all day long. Pedro Munoz versus Kyler Phillips. This is also another fight where I like the underdog. Pedro Munoz is sitting at plus 186, and behind Chito Vera, he has the longest streak in the UFC of not getting knocked out. He is a dog, dude, and he's fought guys like Sugar Sean. He's fought, Cody Garbrandt back in the day. He's fought Aljamain. He's fought all these top guys in this division, and I think he beats Kyler Phillips. Next up, I know there's not a lot of value here. But Mastu's Gamrot being on the prelim blows my mind. And I know he's sitting at minus 450 over Rafael Dos Anjos. I like the money line from Gamrot. I would even almost. I also think there's some more value in Gamrot by TKO, KO, or on points. Double chance on FanDuel sitting at minus 340. It's a little bit better odds. He will win the fight, but he's not going to submit him. So it brings your odds up a little bit on a Gamrot money line. Dos Anjos is just old, dude. I just don't think he really competes with Gamrot in this fight. And then the final prelim fight that I like, it's the final one on the card. Could have been a main card fight. Is Curtis Blades versus Jon Almeida, and right now it's basically a pick me on FanDuel. I mean, not a lot of people
Absolutely.
know how this fight's gonna go. But my best guess would be, see, this one's hard. That's why this one is more of a fun lotto pick here for this. I almost like Jon Almeida, but I feel like he's more of a wrestler than he is a knockout artist. And Curtis Blades is just big. What we've seen in the heavyweight division, when you got these faster, bigger heavyweights that can wrestle, it usually turns into success. I mean, we've seen John Jones be the greatest heavyweight of all time, and it's because of his grapple game. So I'm gonna stick with Jon Almeida on the money line here. I think he finishes it on the ground, if we're being completely honest. Okay, now back to the main card. Rip through this real quick. I'm once again going Piotr Jan, Gilbert Burns, Michael Page, and Poirier. And then for a little bit of fun to round out this lotto, I'm gonna go in and take Sugar Sean Method of Victory by KO TKO at plus 250. It's a 5 round fight.
Oh.
Sean has a point to prove. I think he finishes, like for sure.
So are you sticking, or instead of money line, you're going up a notch?
Yeah, and so I'm taking Sean's money line off, and I'm doing a Method of Victory by KO/TKO at plus 250, which brings this 9 leg banger to a total of plus 96,000 odds. So a dollar would win you $1,000. So this one's just for fun. Obviously, it's for sure got a shot. There's a lot of upsets here, but this is my prediction on how things going to go. And it's going to be one I'll throw a couple dollars on and forget about, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
But those are my 2 UFCs for the night. I was super excited to get those out to you guys. I'm super pumped for that card tomorrow, man. It's going to be so much fun. Oh, man. Please always bet responsibly, though, as we say all the time.
Absolutely. Don't lose your house, your wife, or your kids. Just trying to win $10.
Yeah, swear. But
I'm
with
sitting
that
in
being
front of a piece
said,
of cardboard right now with my last $3 in FanDuel, hoping for the best.
$1 on each. We'll see what happens, baby. No, but that'll bring us to the wrap of our live parlay build with Travis and John. Hope you guys have some fun with the weekend this week. Did you win you some money, get you some sports bets in? No, we will be.
Do it responsibly.
Yes, always, always, always. All right, that'll bring us to the NFL part of things. Still off season time. And,
Absolutely.
we've talked a lot about college, talked a lot about rankings. Obviously, we started our college football ranking last week with our quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers. And we will be finishing that as the offseason goes along, but we're going to switch things up this week. It's a little bit, nothing too off track, but we're going to talk about some free agency and some of our predictions for the best landing spots for some of these top guys out there. Because let me tell you, this is one of the more stacked free agency classes we've seen in a few years. When it comes
Absolutely. It's starting to get enticing. And now, I mean, I don't know if anybody else has the ESPN app, but just got a notification about Derrick Henry, unlikely to return.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something we've seen for a while now, but that's just one of the many big names.
Yeah. We've seen quite a few releases these last few days, a lot of big names in football. The other day, the Bills cleaned house and surprisingly released Tre'Davious White, man, one of the bigger surprises, I think, so far in the offseason. And I feel like that Tre'Davious White release kind of sparked that idea in other teams. And I think it's what's kind of contributed to more bigger names being released. I mean, we've seen just the other day.
Absolutely. A Justin Simmons released from the Broncos.
Yeah, another huge name. Crazy to see him go. He's been a Bronco for the last 7 years and has been the leader of that defense for a while. So, wow. But also, sorry, excuse me.
From a team that's also now taking an $84 million dead cap hit.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen in the NFL nowadays that salary cap's becoming a bigger issue, and teams are starting to prioritize that more. And if these guys aren't, performing, they're going to lose their job. It doesn't matter who you are nowadays. Doesn't matter how big your name are. If you're going to save teams money, you always have a chance of being gone.
I mean, it proves you're bad when the team cuts you and still loses $84 million just to get rid of you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I do believe to start things off for the free agency list, top guy I kind of want to talk about for a second is Chris Jones. Now, I do believe he's still on the market, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he's been a new deal or franchise tag just yet. What do you think happens with Chris Jones, man?
I believe yesterday or the other day at 4 p.m. I'm not sure when all the franchise tags happened. I'm blanking now, but when all the franchise tags happened, I believe it was at 4 p.m. that day. May have been the franchise tag deadline. So Chris Jones should be open to market for 100%. But
So,
I mean,
do you think he returns?
I feel like the Chiefs know that he has to, but I mean, that comes with a price. He's always, regardless of going to the Chiefs or not, been a guy that knows he wants to be paid what he deserves.
Right. He understands his worth. And we've seen that at the beginning of the regular season last year where he sat out week one against the Detroit Lions just to kind of get his deal set in place.
Exactly. Dude was sitting in the stands watching his team play.
Yeah. And because he knows, man, he's the biggest part of that defense. He's been the leader of that championship defense the last few years. And as an interior defense, as a lineman, it doesn't get much better than Chris Jones in today's NFL. I mean, he's huge. He gets to the quarterback. He stops the run. I mean, he's the perfect kind of inside guy. And he's not too old yet. I think he's closing in around his 30s, but, he's right in his prime right now.
Absolutely. He's one of those people that are literally double, triple teamed every play. And I'm glad you mentioned age because I was just thinking, I mean, he may be 30, 31-ish now, but you got to think the D tackles that are like Chris Jones, or even worthy to be mentioned around Chris Jones, are productive until they're almost 40.
Right. So, man, I don't know if let's just say in the fantasy world of things, Chris Jones doesn't sign back to the Chiefs. Where do we think his best fit is? Chris Jones is a guy that obviously probably still wants to compete. Obviously, he's not going to take a vet minimum or anything that we talked about. But where do you think an ideal destination for Chris Jones could be if he doesn't return to KC?
I'm honestly not sure. I mean, there's a lot of places I like to see him, but I also don't know if they'd run the 4-3 or 4-3 type setup almost in the situation that they need to play the two players I'm thinking or etc.
Right.
But my dream, I'm gonna just put it out there, but the dream scenario for me would be the Eagles pairing him next to Jalen Carter would be horrendous if you're on the opposing team.
I completely agree. That would create one of the best front seven in all of football. But where does that put Jordan Davis? When we're talking Jalen Carter, what happens with Jordan Davis? People tend to forget about him, dude. He was a guy out of Georgia just 2 years ago, and he's fantastic, dude. I mean, he's a big guy, same size almost as Jalen Carter. But I could see.
That's why I just mentioned dream scenario. There's a lot of stuff that have to be worked out in that type thing. But I mean, that's what I just in my mind of minds, I would be really hard to see Chris Jones leaving. But he's also, like I said, been someone that knows what he's worth.
Now, I'm going to tell you my prediction might be a little crazy. You might like it, but place I'd like to see him with the defense they kind of run over there. I think he'd fit in perfectly with that front seven and kind of take some pressure off one of the best pass rushers in all of football. I'd like to see him in Pittsburgh, dude. Low key,
I mean, I'd like to see it too.
I think he'd fit in perfectly with that front seven, kind of the Cameron Hayward type build, the kind of guys that sit in the middle and just clog up the run. I mean, we've seen Cameron Hayward, getting a little older, not playing as much, taking some snaps off nowadays, just with age wise.
But D tackle spot's been what we've been lacking now, and I mean, TJ Watt's had to fill in or play outside line, outside line.
Yeah.
more in all these cover zones than we are letting them play normal linebacker.
I mean, we've seen TJ Watt already be the best defensive player in all of football. Imagine what he could do when teams have to pay attention to a guy like Chris Jones. I mean, you can't just completely game plan for one guy no more. Man.
Exactly.
That would be my dream spot for him. I think he'd fit in perfectly in Pittsburgh. Kind of where defensive players that are good like to play. We've seen Pat Pete, obviously, who just got released, but when playing Pittsburgh, because he knows what it's like over there.
Exactly. Steel Curtain's known for a reason.
Facts. So we'll see what happens with Chris Jones, though. Could very well, obviously, just go back to the Chiefs, if they pay him enough money, but we'll see what happens. Next up, the guy that I'm ready to have some fun with, I think, would be in a lot of different situations and be fantastic. The number one running back on the market, man, Saquon Barkley. I'm excited to see where this man ends up. I think there's multiple different spots he could go that would be so fun and would be so cool. I know we just talked a little bit about the Eagles, but there is a report out that Saquon and Philly have some mutual interest and are going to plan on meeting during free agency.
That's something that's got to come out because, I mean, that's one of the higher-looking teams missing a running back. I wouldn't be completely surprised to see a Buffalo-type pickup now, getting rid of a Tre'Davious White contract.
But as we're sitting here talking about Saquon Barkley, man, if we're talking running back fits, obviously he fits a lot of places, but this might be the greatest running back class we've ever seen walk into free agency. The amount of names that are on the board this year that are going to be looking in, contenders' ways, like Saquon and Derrick Henry for sure want to play for a contender.
But that's what's crazy because you look at the NFL draft and there's 10 players you could name that look like starting running backs. And then there's always the sneaky players that are better than projected. So, I mean.
Correct. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, Saquon and Philly would be a beautiful fit. I think that might be one of the best places for him. But I also, it pains me to say it, but I could see Saquon going somewhere like Dallas with Tony Pollard being on the market this year and it hasn't been announced to be re-signed yet. It kind of leaves that running back position wide open. I think he would be really good in that Dallas offense. Once again, kind of take some pressure off Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and have a running game. I was high on Pollard last year, but when it came to just downhill running the football, they showed where they were lacking Zeke. I mean, a guy that can get downhill for teams like that is super important, and Pollard wasn't the best at that last year. So adding a guy like Saquon would bring a whole new dimension to that Dallas offense. But seeing him sign with a Giants contender would be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. What's crazy is I mean, not to throw it back a whole season, but to do it real quick, I think if Jonathan Taylor would have had this same contract negotiation situation right now with this draft class, and I mean, even now, all these names that are hitting free agency, poor dude wouldn't have been in Indy, let alone got the contract he got.
Yeah, no, not at all. And it sucks to see, man, because Big T was a guy that knew his worth, but we wanted to play football. I mean, it's interesting. It just the running back market has hit an all-time low. I mean, they're just not valued at nowhere near like they used to be anymore. I mean, it's a passing league, man. Running backs are just kind of second wind to quarterbacks nowadays, unfortunately.
I say the Browns just give up on Nick Chubb. They were good enough without him. Go pick up Saquon, run Joe Flacco back, and go win the AFC North.
Nick Chubb has almost been in a wheelchair twice in his career. Okay? Let that man flourish.
Let that man go home with his kids before he is in a wheelchair.
Shout out Minka Fitzpatrick, huh? Almost ended that man's career.
Oh, here we go. But if you look at anybody that's played football, every single person said that's how.
This isn't an argument we want to get in because I don't agree with y'all at all. I think there was much better ways to go about that instead of diving right at the one guy's solo leg.
Football players either.
Yeah, I'm not. Maybe in that situation, in your head, you're thinking stuff like that just because how physical the game is. But when you see the situation that he was in from the outside,
but looking back at it, I mean, it makes Minka look like a piece of garbage, and he said that himself. I 100% agree that if you look at it now, I mean, that's completely the wrong move. But I feel like
Yeah.
in that moment, you're
Right.
going against Nick Chubb. I mean, even when people are talking about some random Joe tackling a Derrick Henry, every time they mention your only shot is going for the ankles, getting a trip up
Agreed.
or a
Right.
one
But
leg trip up tackle.
in a one-on-one situation like that, I agree. But when you see the man's wrapped up by four different people and you don't go for a wrap up, you throw your entire body backwards into the man's kneecap. I mean, there's got to be some kind of why would I do that at some point, right? I mean, you're throwing your entire body weight at the dude's leg that's standing straight up. It's not even both his feet. I mean, his leg was isolated over there, and he just kind of rumbled, tumbled into his kneecap, and then
You know, if he didn't have rubber band ACLs and didn't do the exact same thing on the sidelines at Georgia, you know,
any person, man, woman, thing in the world in that situation couldn't have done any better than Nick Chubb. I mean, what were you supposed to do? I mean,
oh
he's
no,
standing
I'm
there
just saying
fighting
he's
for
done it
yardage.
before though.
No, the one in Georgia was completely different. It was nowhere near the situation it was
That
in
was a
the
freak
NFL.
accident and really
Yeah,
about ruined his draft stock.
yeah. Nick Chubb's a dog, though. When healthy, is possibly the best running back in all of football outside of
Facts.
CMC. So,
Facts, you know?
it,
Play it like
yeah,
Madden, cut Nick Chubb, get Saquon, run back Joe Flacco, and y'all gonna have a chip.
nah, facts. Flacco needs to come back.
I'm
All right, next up.
franchise tagging that man.
Yeah, I swear to God. All right. Next up, a guy we kind of mentioned earlier, Broncos starting safety Justin Simmons has officially been released and is looking for a new home. What we think, man? I mean, safeties are let's just say good safeties are sometimes hard to come by in the NFL. Obviously, there's some decent guys out there, but guys like Justin Simmons are hard to find sometimes, and
I
he's
feel like,
going to
yeah,
be
there's a lot of good, not many elite.
right. Agreed. I think a lot of teams, if any team in the NFL could benefit from a Justin Simmons signing, but most likely destinations for Simmons. Mm, we've seen Simmons, kind of been content before in a mid situation in Denver, never kind of complained or wanted out of that losing situation. But being on the market, with possibly 20 plus teams calling you in free agency, having your options open like that is going to bring a different mindset.
First
Um,
time in your career.
yeah. Uh, I mean, this decision is going to be tough for him. I know we've thrown him out a lot already, but they're a team that goes after guys like this. Obviously, we've seen them sign Chauncey Gardner Johnson, almost won a Super Bowl with him. And then obviously with the release of Kevin Byard, Justin Simmons kind of an open spot in Philly. I know we've mentioned them a lot already, almost every team or every player so far, but I think it'd be a beautiful fit. They're looking to replace Kevin Byard, need an up top guy to kind of run in that secondary. We've seen Darius Slay and James Bradbury take steps back. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. I think he'd be cool in Philly.
I could see
Obvi-
him maybe going to a Kansas City, which is weird to
Yeah.
say, but they also are talking about now moving on from Ladarius Sneed. So
No,
filling that role with a Justin Simmons, I
I
don't think would
don't.
be the worst move.
I don't mean to combat you here. I don't at all. But this morning, it has been announced that Chiefs plan on using their franchise tag on Snead, so he's not going nowhere. I will say that. Um,
Oh, I
I
thought
did
they
see.
opened up a trade request to Sneed.
Um, was that to when? I mean, when did you see that? I don't. Last I
That
saw,
was before
I
the
thought they were planning
tag.
on.
It
Um,
would have been before the tag, but I believe they opened up trades and said they were going to talk to him about it because they couldn't come to full negotiation terms. I mean, that could have been why they tagged him. Unless they just can't get a trade done either and say, well, enjoy Kansas until you're out of here.
okay, maybe you're right. Maybe I was totally wrong. Wow. Okay, no, maybe he is on the market. Okay, I'll take my L there.
But,
Interesting.
for some local fans and I guess family members, I would really love to see him in Indy as well. I mean, they
Yeah,
need. I mean, Justin Simmons isn't the youngest now, but I mean, they got a new explosion of youth over in Indy. They just showed with a backup quarterback what they could do. I mean, not to mention AR-5 or AR-5 now wasn't the only injury, and I mean, they still looked amazing. Obviously,
facts.
beat in their division by the Texans, but obviously the Texans are in a world of their own right now with Mr. CJ Stroud.
Right. I think all those teams you mentioned could be cool. The Texans, obviously, within the Broncos division, or no, Broncos conference, not division. Um, I almost mixed up. Okay, apologies there. But yeah, no, I think all those teams could be cool fits. Obviously, Indy would be fun, like you mentioned. Um, Texans would be dope though. I think it's
Yeah,
time
go
for the
play with
Texans to
CJ.
bulk up. Yeah, I think it's time for them to really bulk up. They've seen what they could do last year. Made it to the divisional round. Obviously, adding a few pieces to that, you know, it really changed things over there in Houston.
Exactly. We ain't mentioned that Houston could add a Justin Simmons or Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I know we didn't mention them at all, but Saquon Barkley rumors have been towards Houston a little bit. I know recently too. Adding a guy like Saquon to that offense would be
See?
insane. With as deep as the running back class is going to get this offseason when it comes to free agency and the NFL draft, I think the Texans have a chance to produce one of the best offenses in football next year. If we're being honest, man, you put a nice running back there with CJ, maybe get him another target outside of Tank Dell and Nico Collins, and my God, man, it could be fun in Houston.
A healthy
Just
Dalton
put it that way.
Schultz.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be scary over there, man. They got a lot to look forward to. All right, next up, our first QB on the list in free agency. Old head, but still competes. Vikings QB Kirk Cousins is set to hit the market. Now, I've seen a lot for Kirk Cousins. I've seen a lot of rumors flying around for this man. Obviously, the most talked about is the Atlanta Falcons, who are obviously on the search for another quarterback.
Absolutely.
With Desmond Ritter not working out, Raheem Morris taking lead over there, kind of wants to get that offense rolling a little bit. Um, Kirk Cousins to Atlanta looks very likely, and I like it. Obviously, Atlanta is a
I
rival
was
in
say
my
that's what I agree with too.
yeah, obviously they're a rival in my team division, but getting somebody like Kirk Cousins to go run an offense with Bijan, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and all these young guys who need someone to kind of help develop them, I think it'd be a beautiful fit, man. I think the Falcons offense could really explode next year with a guy like Kirk Cousins.
Exactly. We've seen Kirk's personality. Kirk wants to play at least another season or two. He's
Yeah,
going to look for people that are respecting him as a quarterback and offering him starting spot more than anything. And I mean, the Vikings are probably giving him his respect being a Vikings quarterback. But I mean, Atlanta
yeah,
probably looking at him as a savior after having Desmond Ritter for so
yeah,
long.
I agree. And obviously the Falcons will move on at some point, at quarterback this offseason. But
Yeah,
I
regardless.
I think at least, maybe bringing in Kirk and even if you can draft it, being one of the, lower tiered quarterbacks in this year's draft and just letting Kirk help coach these guys a little bit this season, something
Pulling
needed to happen.
Alex Smith and
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes, just coach them up.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. They need something like that, man. Those three guys all have the potential to be some of the best players at their positions in the right situation. I mean,
Hey, all I'm
wow,
saying is, there's a Spencer Rattler, a Bo Nix. I mean, there's a
this
few that
quarterback
could
class is deep.
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Next up, another running back on the list. We mentioned his name earlier. Kind of haven't talked about destinations for him yet, but Titans running back Derrick Henry set to hit the market, man. One of the bigger names outside of Saquon. Um, Dream scenarios for Derrick. I know you mentioned the team a little bit earlier for I think maybe for Saquon, but I like the Buffalo Bills and Derrick Henry fit. Uh, I think it would be a match made in heaven. Obviously, we've seen James Cook kind of take off last year, bring another development to that offense. But having a guy like Derrick Henry with Josh Allen back there, being able to run an RPO with Derrick Henry and Josh Allen or read options would be scary to the rest of the league. Let's just put it that way. And
Absolutely. I could see the Patriots picking up a running back But I mean, that's really on a running back wanting to go there because they don't have the right pieces for a running back necessarily either.
Right.
They don't have a set quarterback that's going to immediately take pressure off. They don't have a 5-star O line that's going to create the holes for them. So I mean, that's going to be on them. Or the Patriots may have to draft to fill a lot of these holes and be in a dire spot. But I mean, another spot I'd like to see is the Buccaneers pairing with Rashad White, maybe move Rashad White to less snaps possible. I mean, he took us. He's obviously someone you don't want to completely eliminate. He's great, and you don't want to cut that away. But I mean, if you could pair that with Derrick Henry, put them both back there, put in some options, screens. I mean, that's deadly. I mean, Derrick Henry may not be completely set on needing to be the number one running back, but I mean, could have been upset from Taji Spears over there in Tennessee spiking up too. So I mean,
And I mean that's the thing with Derrick Henry at this point in his career, man, and kind of how the NFL is nowadays. I think regardless of where Derrick Henry decides to play, he's going to split snaps with somebody, and it's kind of a trend that we've seen gradually growing over the years, and almost every single team in the NFL kind of splits carries now at running back.
I mean, look at the Colts. You have someone like Jonathan Taylor. They just had Zach Moss leading the NFL until like week 11, if not later.
Yeah. I mean, kind of the only team that we've seen give their running back a lot of carries last year was the Jaguars with Travis Etienne. And outside of them, man, teams were splitting carries with every single back they had. Some teams were in 3-4
and
deep.
Then if you look, every roster now has almost a set running back. That's why we're trying to find these little perfect destinations. And then, like we've mentioned multiple times, there's already 10 possible running backs that just look like starters in the draft.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where all these guys end up next year and where the roles they're going to take. You know, some of these guys are going to have to take back seats, and it's not going to be so pretty for some of these older guys.
Exactly.
Few other players, still bigger names, but we're not going to talk about obviously everybody, but a few other guys that I kind of want to talk about real quick. Another guy that I think or that I know is on the move. Another wide receiver, Jaguars wide receiver Calvin Ridley. I think he's a bigger name that can help a lot of offenses next season. Obviously, we've seen he can still play. He was still really good last year when targeted, but him returning to Jacksonville just wasn't very likely. They took a very, very hard slump in the second half of the season last year, and the offense kind of dulled down. Trevor Lawrence kind of came back to reality, and I think Ridley wants out, or I mean, is out for sure. A few destinations. I know this might be a little bit of bias. I know we don't have a lot of cap space, but kind of a bigger reason I wanted to talk about Calvin Ridley. With Michael Thomas looking like he might be gone, man. Calvin Ridley to the Saints would be very, very, very interesting. Obviously, as a
absolutely, you need someone to pair with Chris Olave. I mean, quarterback spots up in question. I mean, if not, you need someone to give Derek Carr more stability. So, I don't hate it.
I mean, it wouldn't be easy. Obviously, we're in debt more than any team in the NFL right now, but we've seen the Saints do this the past few off seasons where they start restructuring contracts and grabbing money from out of nowhere. So I think we could make a push for maybe at least one free agent. And Calvin Ridley would be a perfect fit if we really do move on from MT.
Absolutely. A quick little mention to some teams we've already mentioned, but some dream-like situations for me would be Buffalo. Take some pressure off Gabe Davis. Obviously, Josh Allen's been leading the NFL in interceptions, but I mean, who else can he throw to? But Stephon Diggs has been,
we can see him on the move even.
Exactly. He's been having his attitude situations. You never know when he's going to play or be healthy, honestly, at this point. So, I mean, he's someone that I think you could add in Buffalo, maybe put him in a slot position, keep, take pressure off Stephon, Gabe, somebody, or the Buccaneers. Take some more pressure off Mike Evans, and obviously we saw Baker Mayfield kind of revive himself and his career in Tampa Bay by New English, But I wouldn't hate either of those spots.
Yeah, no, I like both of those as well. Obviously, Calvin really will, like I said, with a lot of these free agents, he's going to help a lot of teams no matter where he goes. But Also, real quick, another guy. We could possibly wrap it up with him, but he's a guy that I like a lot. I think he'll have a lot of value in the market. Kind of took a back seat last year after the signing of one of the best linebackers in all of football. Patrick Queen, man, is hitting the market, and with the signing of Roquan last year, the Ravens obviously aren't going to prioritize him as much. I think he could benefit a lot from a new team. He's a guy that is tremendous. I love Patrick Queen a lot. I think he's one of the better interior linebackers in football, especially being as young as he is. And dream scenarios is interesting for me with him. He's obviously, if he does move on, he's gonna want to be somewhere where he kind of takes the lead of the defense. Obviously, he's not going to want to take another back seat like he did to Roquan, but man, dream scenario is interesting.
I got two that I like to mention real fast while you could kind of think of what your dream scenarios would be. Obviously, this would be I'm gonna mention the hardest one first because defensive players like to get paid, and he's someone that's not going to take anything cheap. But I would love to see him, and I think you'll like this, but in New Orleans. And I think he'd take amazing pressure off, some of your linemen, take a little off Cam, let Marshawn do what he does best out there in the secondary. And I think that'd look beautiful. Or I could see, what was the other team I was thinking? Oh, Green Bay. They don't have a set defense. I mean, you got Jair, obviously, but when it comes to your front seven, they ain't got nobody up there. I mean, after what they did last season, they're a team that's looking on the rise. So adding a top lineman or a lineman knowing he would be the top piece for their defense makes it look like they're on an automatic rise.
Pairing him with a young guy like Clay Walker would benefit it, tremendously. That would be a beautiful fit. I have kind of two spots that I'd like for him. One is a team that I've mentioned already, but I feel like he would be just such a good fit. So Dallas Cowboys, man, they're a team that's kind of lacked linebacker play for a long time. And
I feel like besides Vander Esch and him being injury prone, they've been missing that set leader on defense, and when they have it, they're great.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think he would be a beautiful fit for them. Kind of take control of that front seven. Obviously, we've seen their secondary burst. The last few seasons, that defense has been tremendous. And adding a guy that can run the middle of the defense like that would be amazing, and put some more, or take some more pressure off those inside guys when it comes to the run game. But I think the Cowboys would be cool. And another team I want to mention, a team that I like for next year. I know this is going to excite some people here, but I'd like Patrick Queen in Chicago, if we're being honest. We've seen Chicago kind of be a team that has filled a lot of defensive holes the last few seasons. Obviously, with Tremaine
just made Jalen Johnson, I believe, the fourth highest paid cornerback.
Yep. Obviously, with the trading of Montez Sweat at the trade deadline last year, they're adding some pieces at different levels of the field, and adding Patrick Queen to a younger defense like that, where he can kind of grow and kind of take over that team, would be beautiful. And just put another guy like that in Chicago would just help that offense in so many ways. They're poised to have a really good offseason regardless with the number one pick, and seeing what they can do with that. But those are my two favorite destinations.
I know you were talking about possibly wrapping it up on him, but we gotta mention the biggest name in Russell Wilson, right?
Yes. Sorry, I was looking at my list and I forgot to put him on there. Yes, Russ. Now, real quick, let's talk, because Russell Wilson is meeting Pittsburgh Steelers. How you feel?
Hey, now look. He met with the Giants before he met with the Steelers.
On his way to Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Put that out there.
Right. I hear you.
Who also mentioned they're tired of Danny Dimes.
And
Danny DeVito wasn't doing it either.
And they're just also not going to be very intriguing for a 36-year-old quarterback who wants to play, because if Saquon leaves that team, what do you have in New York?
I was about to say they have no wide receivers, nobody good.
their best player on offense is the guy that's in his mid-30s and took a huge step back last year in Darren Waller. I mean,
I
outside
was
of
about to
him,
say
you
that.
have
Yeah, you're
nothing.
tied in, and he's now, older and took a step back.
So
Lucky he stayed with the team.
if those two teams are his, two options, he's going to take Pittsburgh 1,000%. How would you feel if Pittsburgh throws an offer at Russ? I
I
do want to
texted you
mention
personally how I'd feel.
they released Pat Pete just, a few hours ago. Would be, saving him about 10 million cap. Could be clearing up for Russ, is all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. See, I texted you personally what I'd do. I can't repeat it on
You
here what
did.
I'd do, or we'd
You
lose
did.
our show. But just know if
Yeah.
any notification were to pop up right now, I know the code to the safe, okay? I'm done. We're not riding in Pittsburgh. I'm not being no part of it. I'm buying all Saints gear if I get any
Hey,
kind of notification.
yup.
A
See?
Marshawn Lattimore jersey, a
Yup.
Cam Jordan jersey,
Yup. And a Patrick Queen jersey, baby.
and a
Say
big old
that.
NOLA hoodie.
Swear to God.
Man, I mean, I don't like to hate the guy because, I mean, we saw he was
Yeah.
still like top 10, I believe, obviously, in most of the major stats, like passing yards and touchdowns. He didn't have the greatest weapons in Denver, and there were still shots at
No.
Jerry Jeudy for not performing. Other than that,
Right.
you got Cortland Sutton, who's up and down. So, I mean, I don't like to hate Russ completely, but I mean, like I said on the show weeks back, I mean, you compare him to a Justin Fields, and I mean, Russ is getting older. He's got all these. I mean, he's proven that he can't do it by himself. So I mean, when all we're at offering is possibly George Pickens in our youth, I mean, we don't have enough in a season. I don't think to make Russ Russ.
Yeah. I do want to say though, as much as we hate on Russ sometimes and kind of the play he had last season, um, I feel for the dude. The way Denver did him was so dirty. The way they treated him towards the end of that stint, especially Sean Payton, and the way they went about things was just terrible.
Sean Payton had a
Um,
personal hatred towards Russell Wilson.
yeah,
I think before going there, while being there,
yeah,
and I mean, it just got bigger. I mean,
yeah,
especially the minute he threw an interception. I mean, he's still I
yeah.
just said was top 10 in these major stats. And I mean, Sean Payton had it out for the man.
And I mean, when he was benched last season, he was playing good football, and he wasn't terrible. He wasn't Russell Wilson of old, but we all expected that. He's older now. He's not going to play how he did a few years ago. But
He didn't have an O line. He's not running around like
yeah,
he was.
right. And I seen an interview the other day scrolling through Instagram, and he was kind of talking about somebody about the whole situation and how things went down with Denver, and he basically said that Sean Payton dragged him in, and he told him that if he didn't want to take off the injury clause of his contract, signed to waive that part of his clause, they were benching him and releasing him. And for you to bring in a guy like Russell Wilson, who is probably a Hall of Famer in some people's eyes,
And
that
already he was catching slander all season for no reason. I mean, the minute he threw an interception, I mean, all of
yeah,
Denver was towards this man's throat. I mean, regardless of their coaching issues, their other holes they
yeah,
had, it was immediately Russell Wilson. And I mean, poor dude, while dealing with the whole city hating him, fighting depression, whatever else he's got in the background of his life, I mean,
right,
gets pulled into the office and gets told, "Hey, you need to remove this part of your contract, or we're getting rid of you." Like,
right,
and you're
yeah,
sitting the bench. And dude's like,
yeah,
"I'm fifth in passing yards. Like, what do you want me to do?"
yeah. As much as you sat here and kind of talked about how much you would hate Russ in Pittsburgh, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you from a football perspective, I think it's a really good fit for Russell at this point in his career. Going to a team with a top five defense in the NFL, with a coaching staff with Mike Tomlin and pieces around him like Najee and Warren and Pickens and all these guys that have the potential to be great. And bringing Russell Wilson back into a place where he's going to feel welcomed and where he's going to feel wanted, it's going to change his perspective on things. And like I said, when we seen Russ playing last year, he was good. And if we see him in a spot where, like I said, he feels wanted, I think we're going to see a good part of Russell Wilson come out. And if the defense can play like it did this year, and he can get control over some of these young guys in Pittsburgh, I think it could work out for him. If I'm being honest.
And the biggest bright spot for me is, I feel this would be, I just mentioned he's not running around as much because he's getting older, obviously, et cetera, injuries, but I feel like this would be the best O-line Russ has been behind if he does come to Pittsburgh. So,
Yeah.
I feel both ways about it. I think it's recency bias that I hate him because obviously I'm sitting here backing him up. We got our sports, so we got to be unbiased. It's what we do.
Right.
But it's tough. I don't know. I've told you myself, I don't think Kenny Pickett's the answer after. He's proven that he's not taken any steps that we need him to yet. So, I'm in the air.
Right.
I'm not the Pittsburgh coach for a reason, I guess. Bring me to NOLA.
We're saying under a new offensive coordinator and a more motivated Russell Wilson, and that offense can, be a good thing. All I'm saying. I think if he ends up in Pittsburgh, you'll like it more than you think you will.
We'll see. We'll come back to this clip regardless.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether we're about to be in the wild card or we're 2-7, we're coming back to this clip.
No, that's facts.
We're going to recap whether I appreciate Russ being a Steeler or whether I was right.
It'll be an interesting talk, a year from now. But we could talk all day about guys on the market, but I think we covered most of the bigger names, some of the top guys and dream spots that we believe. But obviously, we can be wrong about every single one of them. We'll just have to wait and see. That's the fun of the offseason.
Exactly.
So, with that coming to a close, that'll bring us to the NBA side of things. Now, with us being separated this week on opposite sides, a couple hours away from each other, we got to, improvise. There will be no NBA deal or no deal, unfortunately, this week. I would give you guys the results, but I actually forgot my notebook at home, so I don't exactly remember what happened last week. But we will bounce back with that next week. Obviously, give you the results of last week's competition. We're going to get back into the swing of things with that. But for the week, we have something pretty interesting planned for you guys. Another cool little segment to kind of bring some excitement. But we're going to be doing some NBA trivia if you paid attention to our opening picture. And I'm pretty excited for this. This NBA trivia.
Oh, yeah.
We actually have two separate games that we're actually going to try out for you guys tonight. One of them is going to be based off statistics this season. So you guys will kind of get an idea of our ball knowledge and how much attention we paid this year. And we will have one to do with some older time things, things, and kind of test our full ball knowledge from past, present, all that thing. So to kick things off, we will start with some statistics games for this season. Now, with that, how we're going to do this, we're going to play it on my phone. It's actually going on here, but I'm going to read the question out loud. We're going to talk it through, and we're going to decide as a duo what we want to go with, and I will obviously show you guys the results here. I believe there's like 54 questions here, but we're not going to do all those, obviously. We'll probably do, what do you think, like 20, 25, something like that, and kind of see how many we get.
Yeah, I was about to say, we'll start getting into it, see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be around the 20 range. We don't want to have people sitting here. And it'd be different if we were doing like an hour and a half separate YouTube segment, but not adding on to our hour live stream that we already appreciate everybody for tuning in for.
Absolutely. Alrighty. So, first question on the board. Scottie Pippen Jr., who's actually a Memphis Grizzly now instead of a Los Angeles Laker. The question is, attempting 10-plus field goals per game this season, yes or no? So do we believe Scottie Pippen, in the games he's played so far in the league, is attempting 10-plus field goals per game? Now, with that question popping up right away, off my knowledge of this season, I would say a hard no, if I had to guess.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, if this is talking NBA games, the minutes he has played, I don't think he would even play enough minutes in the game to get up 10 shots, if we're being honest. And if Scottie Pippen,
he's lucky to get up one.
Yeah, if he's attempting 10-plus field goals a game, we have an issue. So we're going to kick it off with a quick nope, and we'll see what happens. And we were right, 1 for 1. Okay, correct.
All right.
Next up, this is the same. I believe it'll be for a few players. It'll be the same stat. So this is still attempting 10 plus field goals per game this season, yes or no? Next up is Nas Reed, center for the T Wolves. Do we think this man is attempting 10 plus field goals per game? Now, offer it.
I guarantee it's close, but
Yeah, for
oh,
sure. I think Nas Reed has actually he's played 6 man minutes all year this year. And when
yeah.
you know, I've seen a few instances where this man's had 20, 30 points in a game, and I don't know. I would almost say yes if we're being real. I don't. What do you think?
I was gonna say my gut feeling was that's why I said it's
Okay,
at least close.
okay, let's go. Yeah, we were wrong. 9.6, so it's close.
Wow.
Nine point
Wow.
six. Yeah. Wow. All right. So it took a quick little small L there. Next up, attempting 10 plus field goals per game this season still. Well, it's Burks for the New York Knicks. What do we think about Alex?
Wow. I
I mean, if
I
we're
don't
guessing right
think
off rip,
so, but
yeah, I would have to say no. If we're, I don't know. I feel like Alex, a guy that kind of gets
I'd be
shots up off the
surprised, but I
bench.
feel like he's their random 6, 7, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
10 per game, though? I don't, yeah, I would say no.
Yeah,
We'll
I'd say
go,
no.
we'll go no. We were right. 9.4, though. He's close. All right. Next
Wow.
up for the Phoenix Suns. Hold on, real quick.
Kevin
In the
Durant.
middle of this, if I'm seeing this right, I know we didn't mention it, but Francis Ngannou actually it was fighting Anthony Joshua tonight, and yeah, a minute ago, Anthony Joshua slept Francis Ngannou in the second round. Wow. Yeah, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, let's just yeah, I just want to put that out there real quick. I know it was a quick
Well, there's the
interruption there.
fall off of Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, Anthony Joshua slept him. Wow. Okay, moving on. All right, back to the game. 10 plus field goals per
Knocked him
game.
out cold in the
Yeah,
second. That's crazy.
slept him. Wow, that was a little wild. All right.
Dude, that was
Um,
talking big.
yeah, can't believe that. I had money on Ngannou. I threw a little bit on him. I ain't gonna lie to you. So took a quick L there. But David
Yeah.
Roddy is next for the Phoenix Suns. 10 plus per game. I don't know. I don't know.
He was kind of solid on the Grizzlies, but I don't know about.
10 a game though. I would almost
Ten's
say
a
no
lot.
again. Yeah. Do we think no?
We gotta go now, right?
All right, let's see. We were right. 7.2. All right, next up. 10 plus per game. Your guy, Andrew Nimhard. 10 plus field goals per game.
Dylan would know this. He averages about 9, 10 a game, I believe, like 9, 10 points.
Would Dylan actually know this, or would he just say yes by bias?
I mean, he'd automatically say yes by bias, but I feel like he'd still know the answer in the back of his head.
What do you think? I don't know, man.
10 a game is a lot.
No, but Nimhard is a starter every once in a while. I mean, he started some basketball
Yeah.
games. I don't know. I would
I
almost
feel
say
like he doesn't get up a
yes.
lot of shots.
You don't think so?
We can go, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think
just feel like he
yeah.
doesn't shoot a lot.
All right, let's see.
All right, we can go, yeah. Let me know.
Wow, we were wrong. 7.7. Wow, we should have stuck with no. Oof.
See?
All right, listen, I'll take the L on that one. That was my fault. All right, next up, Detroit Pistons starting center Jalen Duren. I think yes, right off rip, low key.
Got it. Dude's
He
average like
was
20 and 20
yeah, he was a double double or
for a
he is
minute.
a double double machine. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna go yeah. No thinking about that one. 9.4. I just want to mention that this game hasn't had
One
a
of these is
single
going to be
yes.
9.9.
They've all
And I'm
been no.
coming through the screen and fighting.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Duop Reef from the Trailblazers.
Not a shot,
I don't
right?
know. Yeah, I'm gonna go now. We were right. 7.3. Next up, Alperin Sengun for the Rockets.
Gotta.
Yeah, I'd probably say yeah.
Gotta.
Yeah, 15.6. Oh my God. Wow. All right. This one's tough. Malik Beasley for the Bucks.
Wow. I'd like to say, yeah, I feel like he's sitting at 11,
Yeah.
12, low key. He's
Okay,
he's
we'll
at
go yeah.
least attempted.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, we'll go yeah. 8.8.
Ah, that's
Yeah, we're wrong.
surprising.
Yeah, wow. All right, next up, Billy Oubre Jr. The Charlotte Hornets. Or no, Philadelphia 76ers, not the Charlotte Hornets.
He's definitely one of the dudes that walk into the gym and wants to be seen. He's definitely putting shots up, trying to be that dude, but I don't know if he plays enough.
He starts, I'm almost positive. Or has at least
Wow.
been starting without Embiid. I know that. I don't know if he started the whole season, but he has the last few games. I don't know. I think this one's gonna be close. I would, I would almost say yeah. What do you think?
We can go, yeah. I could see it.
All right,
He just scares me.
11.8.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Devin Vassell, the San Antonio Spurs.
Wow. The only other dude outside of Wemby.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
know
Look, I think
so.
he's
I'm about to say I think so because Sochan don't
yeah.
really be like shooting anything deep, and
I think
Vassell is
he's
the only
averaging
kind of
like
point.
almost 20 a game. Yeah, I would say yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15.3. All right, next up, D'Angelo Russ,
Hey,
10 a game. Yes,
if he's not
yes,
shooting 10, he's shooting 9.8.
yeah. I'm gonna say yes. 13.8. Yeah, we on a heater. All right, next up, Jaden Ivey.
Oh,
Low key, yes.
I'm about to say this is essentially asking, is Ben Mathurin putting up 10 shots a game?
But Jaden Ivey's a starter, and without in the games without Cade Cunningham, he's had like 30, 40 point games. Like him and Cade just combined for like 68 2 nights ago. Or maybe it was last night, low key. Ivy had like 36 or something. I would say
But I'd
yes.
definitely say yeah, yeah,
Yeah. 12. Yeah, we were right. All right,
yeah.
next up, Gary Trent Jr.
Ooh,
This
hey, I knew. I feel like he's
I
shooting them.
don't know. I would say no. In a
I don't know if he's
game?
making them, but
You
I feel
think
like
he's shooting in a game?
I don't.
I don't know. This one could be close too.
I don't
You
know.
think you think
I don't
yes?
think. I don't know. I don't think so. I wouldn't be surprised though.
So where we going?
We can go no.
Go no? All right.
Go no.
10.6. Wow.
Wow.
Wrong. All right. Josh Richardson. What we thinking?
Not a shot.
Not a
Maybe a
shot?
couple of years ago, but not a shot.
All right. Go no. Yeah, you're right. He's averaging 8. RJ Barrett. Yes.
Yeah. That boy
Yes.
shoots.
Yeah,
Some nights he'll have
14.
30, the next he'll have
Yeah.
4, but he's still shooting it.
14.7. Yeah. Now we get his running mate. IQ.
Who's
Daniel
now
Quickly.
smacking it on the Raptors. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. 12.7. We on a heater. All right, Harrison Barnes. Next up, what we thinking? I
He's
want
the
to say
next dude
yes,
after
but I
Fox
don't
and
know.
Sabonis.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
I don't
know.
know. It's him and Herder low key, but I feel like he's still their starter.
Yeah, is he getting up
I
10 a
don't know.
game?
Even when he was with the Warriors and young, though, he never shot.
Hmm. I mean, he's had some big games. I'm pretty sure he had like a 10-3 game like few weeks ago or something like that. He's had some pretty big games. I just don't know if it's 10 per game. This is on average. Hmm. I don't know.
I don't know about 10 a game.
So you want to go no? Yeah, we can probably no. I don't think so, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8.6. Look at us. All right, Tyus Jones.
Oh, there it is.
Wiz.
Anthony Joshua knocks out Francis Ngannou out cold.
Yep, slapping. All right, we got this one and one more. So there's only 20. So we're 18. This is 19. So we got this one and one more. What we thinking? Tyus Jones. It's in a game.
Ooh, it's him after Poole. Low key, but
Well, it's Kuzma, then Poole,
nah,
then
nah,
Tyus.
nah. It's Poole, Tyus Jones, Denny Avdija, whoever
Abdija.
else is on that roster, and then
Abdija.
Kuz.
All right, so what are you thinking? No, then?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. 10.1.
Wow.
Get out. All right, last one. Dorian Finney-Smith, DFS.
Nah, I feel like he used to, but I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not, Loki. I ain't heard his
I
name
feel
in a
like
minute.
yeah.
Yeah, we were right. 7.7. So he finished 14 for 20. Not too bad. Not too shabby.
Yeah. Some
Not too
surprises
bad.
in there, but
Yeah. All right. So, do you want to do
70% ain't too bad.
now? Question: do you want to run that game back with a different stat, or do you want to do some gritty? Now, what this is, it gives you three players on a grid of 9, and you have to connect these players and fill in all the squares with teammates of these players. So, for example, this square right here, where you see the one above Conley and Ibaka at the top, we'd have to find a player that has been teammates with Ibaka and Mike Conley in their career to connect them right there.
I like it.
You want to do this one?
Yep.
All right. So we can just keep, yeah, we have to keep this grid anyway. So, all right. So, or wait, or hold on. No, this is the example. Okay, never mind. So it will give us a new grid, but that was just for example. Wait, what? Okay, cool. All right, here we go. This is our grid. Okay. So our three are Carl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, and Devin Booker are our three players.
Ooh.
So I say to start. So technically, if we want to complete this the full way, we'd have to find two people that were teammates of Pat and Anthony Davis, and they
Yeah.
would go in those two squares. So that's where we'll start. So Carl Anthony Towns and Anthony Davis. So let's think. Pat has been on the Timberwolves his entire career, never left.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis has only been on two teams, Pelicans
The Pelicans and the
and the
Lakers.
Lakers. So my best assumption here, this is probably going to be like, I don't think there's any big names. It's more than likely probably going to be like bench players or role players that have kind
Yeah.
of traveled. Now, a name that spikes my interest, I could be completely wrong here, but I think he played on the Timberwolves is Torian Prince. I could be completely wrong, but he kind of feels
I
like a
think you're
Timberwolves
right. I
player.
was going to mention D'Angelo Russell.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. Okay, that's for sure one. Yeah, beautiful. I don't know how I didn't think of that. Okay, beautiful. All right, now we need another one. Let's see here.
Could it possibly be Torian Prince? Because he is now on the Lake. I believe he played for the Timberwolves.
Did he play with Cat?
Nas Reed ever been a Laker or a Pelican?
No. Let's see. Who were some of them older guys on like the Rondo played on the Pelicans, but I don't think he ever played on the T Wolves.
Play with the Lakers.
Let's see who's some of the older guys. Let's think. I think it's probably easier to think like Timberwolves players. I feel like that team is more unique than like the Lakers and the Pelicans. Corian Prince is really sticking out in my head, but I don't know if I'm making that up if he was a Timberwolf or not.
I don't know. He's
I
been a
want to guess, but
journeyman.
I don't want to be wrong. I almost want to guess it because I feel like that's right.
Take a guess.
Okay, it was correct.
Yeah.
All right, so it lit up some green dots there. Now those will fill in more as we complete the rest of the grid, but with the green dot means they are connected, so we're good so far. All right. Now that brings us, I think we should go next. Teammates of Anthony Davis and Devin Booker. fill in that bottom square there. All right, let's think here. Now, keep in mind, whoever we pair with Anthony Davis and Devin Booker in this bottom slot, we're going to have to pair with Torian Prince for the corner piece. So this is where it gets tricky.
Yeah.
Now that's why that slot is so like as somebody that's played obviously with Torian Prince and AD playing together, that's obviously super easy to connect. We could pick anybody on this Lakers team, connect those two. Um, but finding someone that paired with D-Book, Anthony Davis, that also paired with Torian Prince is going to be very interesting. Now let's think here. AD and D-Book. D-Book's always been a Sun.
Yeah.
Obviously. Now let's think here. I don't think DeMarcus Cousins was ever a Sun. I know he kind of traveled around later in the day. Let's think here. These are hard to think on the spot sometimes.
Yeah.
So Lakers, Pelicans, Suns. Let's think of just some of
Bradley Beal would have been a Pelican.
Yeah, if only. Who kind of? Oh no. Oh no.
Josh Okogie.
Was he a Lake? No, he's never been a Laker or a Sun, or I mean a Pelican. I don't think, right? Pretty sure he started on like the T-Wolves or something. Hmm. Suns guys. Let's think here. Cameron Payne. I don't think he ever played for.
Ooh.
I'm just trying to think like older, like kind of Suns guys, because I feel like because it's obviously gonna have to be another like niche bench piece. I don't think there's any big names. Combine AD and D-Book. I feel like there's someone we've got to be missing. Did Mo Bamba play with AD on the Lakers?
I don't think so.
Bamba was a Laker for sure. I do know that.
Oh, he was.
I'm pretty sure Bamba was I'm almost positive Mo Bamba played at least like a season and maybe half a season with us. That's not cheating, right? I'm gonna look that up. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because that one I feel almost confident I'm right. I'm almost positive Mo Bamba. I'm not gonna look up what year he was there, but I'm gonna see if he was a Laker. Because I think I'm right. My phone's being very slow. My apologies. Yes. Yeah, Mo Bamba was a Laker. For sure. Yeah. I knew he was. Okay, so I think that's right then. Because Mo Bamba currently plays on the Suns with D-Book. And then he had to have crossed paths with AD. AD had been there for a while. All right, Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba's on the Suns now, right? Or am I completely wrong?
Is he
No,
on?
I'm thinking Bol. That's who's on the Suns.
Yeah.
Okay, so scratch that because he doesn't connect with D-Book.
And Bol didn't play with AD.
Yeah, I completely thought Bamba and Bol were the same person. Okay, back to the drawing board. Let's think here. Who are some sinners? Bismack Biyombo. He was a Laker, right? Maybe not. I know he's the bigger guy that plays in Phoenix, I think.
Low key.
Was Bismack a Laker?
I think from I don't know if it was long, but I think he was for a minute.
That feels right. Okay. No, he doesn't connect with AD. Interesting. Let's keep thinking.
Real interesting.
There's some like older bench pieces that have played with D-Book. Jamal Crawford.
Wow.
Son. He never played for the Lakers.
Unfortunately.
Edmund Sumner. I don't think he was a Laker. No, he was a Pacer and a Sun.
Yeah.
Lord. Come on, help me out here, dog. I need some brainstorming. Start throwing out names. And we'll see if they create a spark.
Kevin Durant.
AD never played with Anthony Davis. If we're counting, the All-Star team. They were on the All-Star team together this year.
See? He was a Pelican.
Who were some of those older Pelicans? Like I don't remember the Anthony Davis era. Like I'm blanking that.
That's why
I
I'm
don't
just
think.
thinking like Chris Paul. Did he never
No, that's what I'm
he
saying.
never
I
played with
don't.
D Book? Wait,
Boogie was
yeah, he
never
did.
signed. Chris Paul played
Chris
with D
Paul
Book.
was the but
Yeah,
he,
he didn't play with
he didn't play with
AD.
AD.
Yeah, no, he was a
Did he?
Pelican way before Davis. No,
But
because I'm pretty sure
he
he was a. No, Chris Paul never played with AD, right? No, you're making that up.
no. Are you sure they
I don't
never
think
teamed
so.
up?
I don't think they crossed paths. 'Cause I'm pretty sure he was out of New Orleans before they were even the Pelicans, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure he was like a what was it, a New Orleans Hornet or whatever it was.
Yeah, they
He
were the
was like the
Hornets.
old school. Yeah, I don't think he ever played for the Pelicans.
I don't know. AD may have came in as a Hornet. I feel like
No,
he
no.
was right before the
Now you're
rebrand.
making stuff up. No, AD was not a Hornet. Do not. He was for sure a Pelican.
I don't know.
Who's people on that team right now? Who's
You
their
remember
starting
that
center?
2K
Valanciunas?
audio when there's like the New Orleans Pelicans? Yes, I said the Pelicans. Select Anthony Davis.
Exactly. So he wouldn't have
They
been a
that off
Hornet.
season, that
Would have
off
been when
season
they
they,
moved Chris Paul. I'm pretty sure he was
but
a
they
free
that off
agent and
season they
signed. That
worked
was the
out
year.
together.
No, because that was the year he signed with the Clippers and created Lob City. So don't do that. That yeah. Now you got me second guessing myself, and I don't like it. No, he was in Lob City the year they transferred to the
He ain't
Pelicans.
ever been a Laker.
No, he almost was a Laker with Kobe, but that trade got vetoed. All right, back.
Oh,
Come on, we gotta think of something here. We're kind of getting exposed. It's a bad showing. Why can we not think of? There's got to be such an obvious person we're missing because they were literally on the board together, so they have to connect.
D Book and AD.
I mean, does college work? No, I don't think they played. Never mind.
Jonas Valanciunas.
See, that's what I was thinking, but he was
Never
never a
played with
Laker or a Pelican.
AD. Yeah,
No,
he was a
yes, he
Pelican.
was his a Pelican.
See?
I think that's right. No, not right.
Wow.
Is he even a? No, he's not even. He's a Pelican now.
Exactly.
He's never played with D Book.
I don't know. Has he?
Valanciunas hasn't played with either of them because he's a Pelican now. He wasn't. He didn't. Why? Listen, you've got me all.
I'm pretty. He's never been in Phoenix.
No, you're probably thinking of Yusuf Nurkic, who's their center now.
Yeah, probably. They're the same dude.
Valanciunas, I think he's all. Who did he come from? Who did he? He played for the. Why am I brain fart? It wasn't the Bulls, was it? No, I don't know. Anyways, he's not right. Let's just put it that way.
Wow.
Wow. Um,
There's been
let's
so many
see.
people that play with AD at this point. After the bubble
Oh,
ring, who was on the team? Stanley Johnson.
Stanley, Stan the man. Who was on that bubble team? It was like Rondo and
Dwight Howard.
who was our? Who was? It was KCP, but he's never played with D Book. Um. Oh my God, why are we terrible at this?
I'm saying, yeah, Rondo, Howard.
The Whites never played with Book, right?
Nah,
Timothy
I don't
Moss? No,
think.
he wasn't on it. No.
He never been a son.
Oh my God, we are terrible.
I don't know the Suns. I don't know.
We
Yeah,
are like
Biombo
trash.
ain't it.
Yeah, I really thought Biombo was right. Um, I don't know. I'm literally just sitting here staring at him like,
Waiting for it to click. I don't know.
yeah,
D-Book and
no.
AD. We done gone through almost every person that's been on each person's roster.
I don't. Oh my god, I really don't know. I don't think.
Pull up the picture of the
Ooh,
Suns locker room
what
when Devin Booker dropped 70.
what year did JaVale was a Laker, right? JaVale McGee?
Yeah.
Did he play with AD? Because he was a Sun for sure.
Oh, I think he was. I
But
think
did McGee
so.
play with AD? Do I guess that? I feel like I got to. We guessed the other ones. I feel like that might be right. It is. All right. It connects them both. Let's go. Okay, I thought he was. I
Been
thought he
Chris
played with
Paul.
AD. All right. Well, now that brings us to an even more rough stint. Now we're gonna go back to it, but we have to connect Torian Prince and JaVale McGee. We also, I know we just struggle with it forever, but technically need another D Book and Anthony Davis. So,
Yeah. Wow.
and then whoever we connect Anthony Davis and D Book with again, we have to connect with D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah,
So,
I just don't understand though, because poor Torian Prince and what's his face have been on every JaVale McGee have been on every roster in the league.
which low key might make it easier. Actually, LeBron James. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
They were both Lakers with LeBron James.
Yeah.
Because if JaVale played with AD, then he obviously played with LeBron. Okay, that's easy enough. Bang, check us out. Let's go. All right. Yeah. Now we moving a little bit. All right, now back to AD and Book though. That's where it gets back to being rough.
But if they play with AD
Then they
and
played
they
with
play
D'Lo.
LeBron,
So we just got to connect AD and Book again, and we got it. This is where it gets rough. This is what we struggle with for 20 minutes.
yeah. Um.
Okay, let me just,
Well.
because I think I'm
Well.
tripping. Carmelo Anthony was never a Sun, right? He never played with Book, did he? No,
He
because
was
he
on the
played with
Thunder.
AD. He played with AD and LeBron. I don't think he was ever a Sun, though.
Yeah, he was on the
That
Thunder.
name kept popping up in my head. I just had to clear that real quick. Hmm.
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 Devin
We gotta
Booker
think.
ain't been in the league super long, but he's been with a bunch of scrubs when he came in. Like the Suns ain't been amazing.
I know that's the issue. JaVale McGee was a pull from heaven.
From 50.
D Book. Did he ever play with Kobe? I don't
Kobe ain't
know,
never been a
bro.
Sun, so that rules that out.
I really don't know.
Brandon Knight was a Sun, but I don't think he ever played with AD
I don't know. This one's
that I
really
know
tough for
of.
me.
Try
Wait, who'd you
Brandon
say?
Knight. Brandon
Brandon
Knight.
Knight. He never played with AD though. He was a Buck
That's big.
and a Sun, right? I don't think he was ever a Laker or a Pelican.
Was he ever a Pelican? Yeah.
I don't think so. Hmm.
Jakob
Hmm.
Bertel.
Hmm. Is
I
Tyson
don't know.
Chandler ever
Drew
in the Laker?
Eubanks. You ever been a Pelican or a
Drew Eubanks.
you ever been a Pelican or a Laker?
What about like I don't know. KCP
DeAndre
never
Ayton.
played with the Suns. Mikal Bridges. I don't
DeAndre Ayton.
know. When did he play with AD? Man, I don't know. This one's really gonna stump us. What about like? I'll just start guessing.
What about LeBron?
I got it, and I don't know how. Okay, so the only reason I know this dude's name is because he was low key a 2K legend, and I knew he played with D Book back in like 2K18 or something, like rebuilds. I never knew he played with AD, but now that it clicks, I
Gerald
think he
Green.
played. No, I think he played on the
Oh,
Pelicans with AD. Etwan Moore. I know you know who that
yeah.
is. I just pulled that name from out of nowhere because I remember he was a D book. Like he was always the backcourt with D book in like 2K18, 2K17, or whatever. I don't know, something like that. I totally
Yeah.
forgot he was a Pelican with AD low key. But now that means we have to connect Equan Moore and D'Lo, and I don't know if that's possible
Yeah. Wow.
because I don't even know what teams that Moore would have played
Try
on
try Dorian
outside of
Finney-Smith because he was. I
for
think he
D'Lo
played
and
with D'Lo.
Equan.
I don't know about Etwine. He played with D'Lo, but that's the thing about
No,
them scrubs.
nope, nada. Oh my
D
gosh.
book.
D'Lo didn't play with D-Book, did he? No. Oh,
KD.
D'Lo's been around too. Like he played for the Nets, the Warriors. Um, Each ever played with like Steph Curry?
Clay Thompson.
I don't
Draymond
even
Green.
look. Would it technically be cheating to look up each one Moore's like years he played? Because I don't even know if I remember the teams he played on. To be honest.
That's the thing. Dude retired like 5 years ago, at least.
Okay, so he's played. I'm not gonna
Didn't
lie.
he?
I looked up the years and the teams he played for. So we have a decent chance at this. Um, So he played for Boston for a year back in 2011. And he played for Orlando for 2 years, 2012, 2013. Played for Chicago for 2 years, 2014 to
Dwight
2015.
Howard. 2012 Orlando. Dwight Howard
Did
and
D'Lo
D'Angelo
and D
Russell.
did D'Lo and Dwight play together?
Not. Oh, I don't know if
Did they
they
match up
matched
in
up.
LA? I know they
I
both
don't
played for the
know.
Lakers, but does it match?
I thought I was on a roll there with the
No,
2012
low
Magic.
key, that might not be. Yeah, no, I low key like it, but I just don't know if him and D'Lo ever matched up.
Yeah, I know.
And then he played for Phoenix in 2020, 2021, which is when he retired and played with Debo. Hmm. We got to finish strong here. Do I get? I'm gonna guess Dwight Howard this year. So I don't know. Nope.
Wow.
So they must not have to play together. Hmm. Man, what are some other niche pools? What are some of the but like who would a D'Lo paired up with? They're just
Then
two completely different time frames.
that's what I'm saying. It would have had to have been the Nets, right? Some old head.
Paul Pierce. He played
Ken
in
Fareed.
Boston. Did D'Lo and Paul Pierce play together?
I don't think so.
Paul Pierce retired a Ned, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he played, Etwan Moore played on Boston in 2011, 2012. That would have been a Paul Pierce year, right? Or am I just stupid?
Yeah.
Am I cooking?
I think 2012 and 13 is like a almost a ring year for the Celtics.
Exactly. And I know Paul Pierce retired a net, but did he play with D'Lo?
I don't think he played with D'Lo is the one thing that's.
D'Lo was a net for 2 years, right? Because he was a part of that Brooke Lopez trade. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
he
I
was
mean he
there
would.
for like 2 years before he got sent to Golden State.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess it to see what happens. It's probably totally wrong, but hold on. I got an ad. Jesus Christ, hold on.
Hmm.
Okay, so he didn't pair up with D'Lo. Okay, he worked in the spot technically because he paired up with Utah Moore, but he didn't. There's not a light on the D'Lo side, so I'm almost positive that's wrong. Yeah. Okay, that was a shot in the dark though.
Hmm.
Who else? D'Lo played with Andrew Wiggins. I don't think he ever played. No, he didn't
No,
play
yeah,
with
he
none
was
of
on the
those
T
teams.
Wolves.
Yeah. Um, New Orleans Pelicans. 2020, 2021 Phoenix. Did Deep? No. He never played with Chris Paul.
Chris Paul never played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
See if
oh
him
my
and
God.
D'Lo were both in Golden State at the same time.
That would have been kind of wild. James Harden. Who's D'Lo played with? Not many people. He
Ben
played.
Simmons.
Who was D'Lo with on the T Wolves? He was there with. He was no. He was there with Wig. No, he wasn't. I think Wiggins was a Warrior by then, right? But he didn't
I
play with
don't
Etwan, so it
know.
doesn't matter. Never mind.
He wasn't. Andrew
He
Wiggins was
wasn't.
traded on draft day from the Cavs. I know that much.
Yeah, but
Kevin
he
Love.
wouldn't have played a snap on a snap. Wouldn't have played a hit with any of them. 2015, 26. Who are like the 2014, 2015 Bulls?
Jimmer Fredette.
Hear me out. Low key
No, who was that white shooting guard with glasses?
for the Bulls.
Yeah. Kirk Heinrich?
Yeah, but he didn't play with D'Lo.
Should have.
I don't know. We might have to. We might be stumped here.
Yeah, I don't know. Etwan Moore is a real throwback piece.
Yeah, he was just the only name I could think of. I don't know. We might have to just call it there.
Yeah, low key, because I'm not sure. Unless you want to cheat and try Googling who was a teammate with Etwan Moore and D'Angelo Russell.
I mean, I just don't even know where they would have matched up.
Yeah, I don't know what time frame, who would have possibly.
We'll
Unless
see.
Etwan Moore played with some rookie that matched up later on with D'Lo, like.
Yeah, I don't know. I threw Dario Saric in the spot, and it worked for Etwan, but not D'Lo. So we'll just leave it at that. We connected 7 of the 9 squares. We couldn't connect Etwan and D'Lo, but oh well. We did well on the rest of it. We
Yeah,
did good enough. All right.
facts.
That
Technically
was
8 of the
cool.
9 squares.
Yeah,
Screw
basically. Yeah, that was cool though. That was fun. Nice
Facts.
little change of pace there, away from NBA deal or no deal. But I think that just almost wraps up our slate for tonight after that NBA trivia. I do real quick though want to double check on our parlay double fast before we log off here. See how those looking real quick for the games that have started. Um,
Always
okay,
like
so
to do a little live peep in on the bets.
Brandon Miller has 6 points at half. Zion has 3 assists at half. And most of the or some of the other games just started, but not looking terrible. Still very early in all the games, so it's impossible to do it. The only one that's just decently into it right now is the Cavs game just ended the first, and the Magic game just started the second. So keeping an eye on those. Obviously hoping for a big dub in that division tonight, but obviously a lot of money to be made this weekend, especially on UFC. So super excited
Facts.
for the weekend slate of
I was going
things.
to say, yeah, even tomorrow night, a lot to look forward
Yeah,
to with the UFC picks.
facts. Oh, but we hope you guys enjoyed another edition of the Travis and John Show. Obviously, things will be back to normal next week, back together on the road this weekend. So improvising as we can. But I think we still put together a pretty decent show. Gave you guys some good stories to talk about, and some good bets to make money.
Absolutely what we do best. Quick little rundown of what's recent. Some of our opinions in the sporting news. Of course, bets to make you some money. And, what we can for the week until we get into some more in-depth things and upgrading each week as we do. But, quick little improvise on the road show.
Absolutely. We hope you guys enjoyed. I know we had a lot of fun. Um, I think that'll almost bring us to the end of things. Anything you want to say before we wrap things up here? Obviously, go check out all of our socials. Link tree in our Facebook bio. We're available in everything possible. No excuses. Any final words
Absolutely.
from
Facebook,
Noah?
YouTube,
Absolutely.
Instagram, X. Wherever you
Absolutely.
need to look, we're everywhere it can be found.
Absolutely.
But I
So
think
go
it's been
check
a
us
great
out.
night. Like you said, we kind of recapped everything, and go check us out.
Absolutely. We will see you guys again back next week, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We hope to see you guys there. Stay tuned to our socials for all updates during the week. And hope you guys have a good weekend. As always, it's been the Travis and John Show live
Live
on Facebook
on
Live.
Facebook Live.